What's going on, everybody? Right now it's actually sunset, so this is all type of crazy lighting going on right now. But anyway, I want to talk to you about me moving to the DMV. And I say the DMV is so weird. I live in Virginia, well, Tyson's Corner, which is also like McLean. I never lived in a place where it's like so many different names you could call or refer to like an area or one place. It's really weird. But yeah, I basically want to talk to you about me moving to DC, how I like it, the cost of living. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. First thing on my list I want to talk about is I want to get into the name. So like the DMV comes from like DC, Maryland, Virginia, and I kept hearing that term when I first got here, and I did not know. I'm like, what is the DMV? Like, I don't know where that's at. I don't know what that is. Am I currently in the DMV? Do we need to go to the DMV? Like, I don't know. Like, in Atlanta, the DMV is Department of Motor Vehicles. That's the only DMV I know, and that's like the place where you go to get your license. So if you hear that up here, then they're talking about DC, Maryland, and Virginia, which are basically like the surrounding places of DC. And or if you hear NOVA, NOVA is another term, which is Northern Virginia. So NO is for like Northern, and then you got VA, which is the abbreviation for Virginia. So if you hear NOVA, then that's what people are referring to. They're talking about Northern Virginia. Me, I live in Northern Virginia, but people call it the DMV also, which is weird, but whatever. Another thing I found weird. So when you fly into the airport here, you fly into DCA, but it's not even in DC, it's in Virginia, but it's like really, really close. So people be like, yeah, that's DC, but technically it's not, but it's really weird because I just call everything DC now. It don't even matter what I'm talking about. If it's within like 30 minutes, 45 minutes driving, then I could be in Maryland and I'm gonna be like, I'm in DC. So I know I probably shouldn't do that, but yeah, the things to do here. So it's so many different things that you could do here. Literally they have outdoor things, which is, I compare a lot of outdoor things to like Hawaii, because recently I lived in Hawaii for like the last couple years. And yeah, Hawaii has a lot of outdoor things you could do, but here they have outdoor and indoor things. So as far as indoor, they have a ton of museums. It's like the most museums I've ever seen, actually, like all in one area in DC. I mean, you got the Lincoln Memorial, you got African American Museum, you got International Spy Museum, you got literally like National Geographic. The list goes on and on for like ever. And even the monuments, there's so many monuments you can see there. MLK, Washington Monument, go check out the White House. Yeah, like a lot of rooftop bars and like overlooking the White House. It's just crazy, like the list of things you could do here. And that's one thing I love about being here so far is you never get bored. Like, and that's just in DC. Like, I haven't even made my way to talk about Virginia yet, where Virginia has a lot of different wineries. So if you're in the wineries, you could go check out these wineries. You can go check out these different parks that they have. They even have like a waterfall park that I'm gonna find the name of it. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, it's a really nice waterfall park. And they have a list of hiking trails and all these different things that you could do here. And then we get on the trail to Maryland, where I haven't even explored all of Maryland yet. Like, the furthest I've been over there is to the MGM. So they have a casino here. MGM is at National Harbor. And yeah, like, it's just so many different things you could do. You will never get bored here. And that's one thing I actually do like. And on top of all of that, if you are bored here or you've been here for like all your life, like, I rode the train for the first time here. I rode Amtrak. I went to North Carolina for a wedding, and yeah, it wasn't even that bad. My first time ever on the train. I just did it just to like scratch it off my bucket list, but I would definitely ride a train again. And here, you could just ride the train from Union Station to like Grand Central or somewhere in New York. Yeah, like you ride the train. You could like 4-hour drive if you don't want to ride the train to New York, or you could just like ride the train to Philly or drive to Philly, and it's like all these different places that you could just literally get in the car, take a quick road trip, which is actually a really like, it's a pretty quick road trip, like 4 hours there, 4 hours back. It's not bad at all. So, and that's just in New York. Like you can ride the train up to Boston if you wanted to, or wherever you want to go. I mean, pretty much it's not that long of a commute. Also, another thing I want to talk about, it couldn't even be a good video if I didn't talk about expenses. Cost of living here, very expensive. I'm actually paying for like my apartment what I was paying in Hawaii, actually a little more. But the market has went up since I left Hawaii. So now Hawaii is even more expensive than here. So I guess it all balances out. But I've basically lived in a lot of high cost of living places these last couple of years. And Atlanta, of course, is like very cheap. So it's like, yeah, I have no complaints about, you know, when I go home to Atlanta or I go back to Atlanta and stay there for a while. But here, very expensive. However, the groceries here aren't that expensive. And I'm just comparing it to Hawaii because that's what I was used to like paying and spending money on. Like I go to the grocery store, I'm paying like all of this money for groceries. And here, I spend like the same thing, but I have like so much more stuff. So that's a good thing. I'm finally like acclimated to that. I've been here since January, so I'm 8 months in. I'm finally like back to get acclimated to like, okay, cool. Like this how much something was supposed to cost every time in Hawaii when I was mad that I was buying it. But yeah, that's a good thing. Job market here. So the job market here is crazy. Like I've never lived in a place that offered so many different jobs. Actually, like it's ridiculous. And I guess it's basically a government is here, and a lot of stuff here is ran by the government. A lot of these museums are ran by the government. It's just a lot of government here in DC. Of course, it's the nation's capital, but outside of that, like the government aspect, you still have all these different companies that have their headquarters here. And the jobs, it's not like you go to a place and they have a lot of different jobs, but they don't pay well or they pay like okay. Like, no, these are really like decent jobs, like high paying jobs. A lot of people say, well, you make more money up here, so, and that's because the cost of living is higher, and which it is, that is partially true, but also, I mean, I feel like you make more money up here, and to cover the cost of living, you still make extra money just to like pocket. So compared to Atlanta, where if you were making say 80 grand, or you come here and you're making, let's say 120, like that 80 in Atlanta is almost equivalent to 120 here, but you still maybe would save more money here simply because they pay you more for the cost of living, and it's like, here goes some extra as well. So yeah, it turns out, it works out really well in the end. That's one thing I like about being here, because who couldn't use extra money, you know, for going to work every day? So that's always a plus. I don't want to make this video too long. There will be more videos on DC, so please subscribe, like this video, comment as well if you already haven't. And yeah, until next time, peace.